know I said I wasn't going to talk much about my rejection letters, and I'm not. I'm not going to talk about the rejections specifically, but I did want to touch on the things that I've been doing to keep from getting too bummed out. And hopefully, people that are going through what I'm going through can take some of this advice and use it themselves so that they don't also get too bummed out. So let's roll the title card and get started. La la la, clicky keyboard noises, la la la, keyboard noises. Let's face it, getting rejected is awful, and it especially sucks when you've done as much as you can do to ensure your success, and it still just isn't happening. When I first went through the querying process some 13 plus years ago, I thought I understood how much rejection I was going to receive. It was in every article I read, and I thought I had steeled myself. Unfortunately, I was also a 17, 18-year-old high school student that had never ever put themselves out in any real meaningful way before. So I'd never really experienced rejection before, and definitely not on a larger scale. The novel was months of finishing homework early or staying up late after I got home from work, pretending to take notes in class when I was really working on my scenes. I don't apologize for that, but I do not recommend other people do that. If you guys are in school, don't do that. I was in honor roll, I was a senior, and I was forced to take 8 classes even though I only needed 1 class to graduate. So that was my little way of sticking it to the man. I had 7 classes that I could blow off, and it was not going to affect anything. They just made us stay all day. We couldn't leave after we got our 1 credit hour we needed to graduate. Arkansas education, man. Anyway, I remember hearing an anecdote from some author about how they kept their rejection letters plastered on their wall, like to use as inspiration. And I thought I was going to be like that too. I was going to print all mine out, and I was going to put them on a cork board, and I was going to wear them like a badge of honor, and I'd be that unaffected, cool chick that just didn't let the rejection get to them. And you only need one person to say yes, right? I've since learned that that story's only interesting because that person got published. And you need a lot more than just one yes to get a book published. Anyway, back to my first round of rejections. I don't know that it's ever going to not suck to open up your email and read the "while we appreciate the ... emails." I've learned a lot in the years since I thought that that anecdote was cool. And I've also learned a lot since I've gotten that first set of rejections all those years ago. And I'd like to share a couple big things that I have learned and tried to implement in order to keep from just getting too bogged down by the rejections. First off, it's not personal. When I was first querying back in the early 2010s, now was it the early 2000s? No, I graduated in 07. When I first started doing my queries in 07, 08, every rejection felt like a personal attack, but it's not. Unless you're querying the same literary agent multiple times a day with multiple projects, or the same project week after week, even though you've already gotten your rejection, it's really doubtful that an agent is going to remember your name specifically out of their slush pile. They're not checking the signatures of your emails and going, screw that guy in particular. They're just not. I was reading a blog post for a literary agent a few weeks ago. They're currently close to submissions because they're still working through their backlog from when they were open from, I believe it was October to Thanksgiving or something like that of last year. And they said in that brief period that they were open for submissions, they got over 1,000 queries. Now let's do some quick math on that. If they were only open for, say, 60 days and they only got 1,000, they said they got over, but we're going to say they only got 1,000 in that 60-day period. That is still almost 17 queries a day, every single day that they were open. Even if reading queries was all they had to do for their job, which it is not, they have a client list that they have to work with before they try to seek new people to add to their client list. They're looking for something that sticks out, something that grabs their attention, something that they feel that they can champion. And it needs to be, or they should pass for everybody's sake. I had a rejection a few years ago. Really liked my query, they liked my synopsis, they requested a full. And once they got done, they came back to me and they basically said, I really liked the story, it was a lot of fun, but I don't think I'm the best person to represent it. And at the time, I thought that was so much worse than a standard no or a form rejection no. But the author-agent relationship is just like any other relationship. You need to want the same things. And it's not really fair to anybody if one person is all in while the other person is only on the fence. Looking back on it, it still stings a bit, but it was way better to hear it's not you, it's me from them than to seek representation with them, get a lukewarm response, and them not really be super motivated to push my novel and my career to be the best that it can be because they were only kind of meh about me in the first place. So, as much as it sucks to get a rejection letter, you just have to keep in mind it's not personal. It's not them saying your baby is awful and we hate it and we hate you. It's a business. And sometimes decisions are made that suck for you, but they didn't do it because they hate you. They just did it because they're thinking business. I've also learned that sometimes you do have to periodically review what you've been sending out and make sure it is still your strongest showing. I know it sounds weird because you're supposed to send out your best work. When you're making your synopsis, you make your synopsis as good as it can be. You make your query as good as it can be. You make your first 10 pages, 3 chapters, 50 pages, however much they request. You make that the best you can make it. But you're constantly evolving as an author. Your writing is always improving, and your best query from 2 months ago may not be the best query you can make today. It is recommended to only send 5 to 10 queries out at a time, and there's a reason for that. If all you're getting is form rejections or no rejections at all, it's to give you a chance to look back at what you've made and make sure it is still the strongest showing. Review your materials and see if you can make them better. See if you can tighten your synopsis. See if you've got snappier things you can say. If you read a few different books that are better comps, use them instead of the comps you put down. And you take that information, you make your stuff better, and then you go out for your new set of people and see how that works. The last big thing I want to share is it is extremely important not to hinge everything you have on the book you're querying. You need something to take your mind off of it, to keep you distracted from the hurry up and wait aspect of your querying. If you're looking to make a career out of writing, you're going to have to keep writing. So it's better to have half of a manuscript done before you hear back from your agent than to just be sitting and twiddling your thumbs until you hear that no. You're already working towards your next thing. You don't want your skills to atrophy while you're waiting, and you don't want to get your offer for representation and then just be like, oh crap, I have no other stories to offer. How am I supposed to get through this 3-book deal when I only have the 1 book and no other ideas in my head? The long and short of all of this is, don't take it personally. Make sure your offerings are as strong as you can make them, and keep working on your next thing. Don't stop writing, just keep going. It's not going to make it suck any less, really, but it helps to keep you from dwelling on it, to have something else that you can be working on instead of just dwelling on they said no again. Another person said no. This person hasn't even gotten back to me. You're still working, you're still improving. You're still getting better. You're not giving up. And that's the important thing. If you're about to start querying, I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you get good news sooner rather than later. If you're currently in the querying trenches with me, we've got this. Keep your head high. It'll be okay. What tips do you have to keep the darkness at bay when you're getting your rejections? The comment section is open for suggestions as long as they're healthy coping mechanisms. Thanks for stopping by and letting me share some tips about how to make the querying process suck just a little less. I post new videos every other Wednesday where I discuss reading and writing and artsy stuff and whatever else I think is cool. And if those things sound like fun, like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram if you feel so inclined. My name is Jennifer McPeak, and I am an unpublished author currently querying for my novel and also researching self-publishing methods, because no matter what happens, I'm becoming a published author. Until next time, I wish you luck in all your endeavors. Spay and neuter your pets. Have a great day. Later. La la la, clicky keyboard noises. La la la, keyboard noises.